everybody, this is Robin with Creative2xmom, and today's video is going to be what is on my spring reading list. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. And today's video is going to be all about the books on my spring reading list. Now, it's been a really long time since I've had a chance to sit down with you guys and share what's going on in our family. The last couple of months have been a whirlwind. I talk about thriving in the day-to-day. Well, there has been a lot going on in the day-to-day. I have a little friend who might be enjoying visiting with us today. And this one, I have two teenagers that keep me busy, and she keeps me just about as busy as everybody else. So today I'm sharing with you the books that are on my spring reading list. I have got some fiction, I have got some homeschool philosophy, I've got some family read-alouds, so I'm just going to get started before this video gets too crazy long. The first two books on my fiction section are going to come as no surprise. You guys know I love Amish fiction, and we have quite a bit of travel coming up in the next couple weeks, so I grabbed two that looked like they would be good for the car. The first one is Cindy Woodsmall and Erin Woodsmall's The English Daughter. This is a reread for me. I know I've read it before. I may have reviewed it when it was first published, so if I have, I will link the full review down below. But I remember it having some different twists and turns than typical Amish fiction, but being a really good read and something that I could do while I'm sitting watching sports or just sitting in the car. So I grabbed that one to have. I also grabbed Amy Clipston's The Bake Shop. Now, I have never read anything by this author before, but looking into this title, I think it's going to be a part of a series. Just happened to grab this one from the library to throw in my suitcase, and I'm going to see if I enjoy it. We'll see if there are any others that I can get a hold of. The next two books came as recommendations from Serena by the Falco family. She mentioned in one of her last videos that these were on her reading list, and I don't even remember what intrigued me about the two of them, but since they were available, I thought I'm going to go ahead and grab them, see if there's something my kids might be interested in as well. And the first one is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. I have started this one. I'm maybe, I don't know, 20%, maybe a fifth of the way through it. It's about a little girl whose mother and sisters are killed, and her dad just end up traveling because it's sort of his way of dealing with the trauma. So I have that one that I started. Plus I lived on Butterfly Hill, and I don't remember specifically why this one was interesting. It talks about poetic language by one of the reviewers in the back, so maybe, I don't know. But I'm excited to see. A lot of times I'm finding lately as my kids are getting older, the books that they're enjoying, I enjoy as well. So I'm going to check that one out. And the last one in my fiction section is so far out of the box of everything else that is in this fiction section that I'm kind of questioning if I'm going to like it or not. It is so out of my box of what I typically read. It's called 1 Second After. This is by William R. Forstchen, F-O-R-S-T-C-H-E-N. This is sort of a sci-fi book. It is part of a series. It's the first one in the series, and it's what would happen after an EMP attack on American soil. What would life be like? It's a survivalist type novel. I have no idea where I heard about this one before, but something about it just kind of grabbed my attention, and I thought, okay, we'll see. It's so different than what I read. We'll see about that one. The next section of books that I have fall in line with the parenting, homeschool philosophy as part of my just always continuing to be a better parent and continuing education as a teacher. The first one is a reread. It's Love and Respect in the Family. Now, this is a carryover from my winter reading list, and it's a reread for me. I've read it multiple times, but it's been a few years, and so I'm sort of reading it through the lens of having teenage children now, and how his concepts apply to their age and where do they apply. But I love his visual cues, his like illustrations that he uses. have been really good for remembering the concepts in the heat of the moment. The next one is sort of a reread. I have read parts of it, although I've never read the entire thing, and it's The Brave Learner by Julie Bogart. Now, I've mentioned before that Julie Bogart's philosophy, this just very gentle philosophy that she has in education, is really far outside my box. Now, that's not to say I don't think that there are things I can learn from it. Do I think I will completely embrace her style of teaching? No. Do I think there are things to be gleaned from this book? Absolutely. And that's why I've never read the whole thing, because I tend to get very overwhelmed with it. My plan this time is to read slow and take notes of what works for us, and then try to just kind of let go of the other concepts so that I don't become so overwhelmed. And the last one's a little bit of a cheat. It is the Charlotte Mason Companion. There is about 48 or 49 chapters in here, and I have been reading this since August. So with 36 weeks in the school year, I just thought I will read one chapter at a time and then pick up on, like I did an extra chapter. One week the chapter was only 4 pages, so I did an extra chapter that week, or I read over Christmas break, or I'm going to be reading a chapter over spring break as my way of finishing. So I'm quite a ways through this one, but I'll be finishing it off in the spring. And finally, the last category is our 3 spring read alouds for our homeschool. I'm going to take credit for reading these because either I read them with the kids or I sit and listen while my husband reads. The first one is The Bronze Bow by Elizabeth George Spear, and we love this author. This book is going to go along with our Story of the World. We've already started it. We are in volume 1, and it's hard to find good ancient history read alouds to go with volume 1, but this one was suggested, and it's written in the time of Christ, so I've never read it before. I think we are on chapter 9 right now, so we are maybe not quite halfway through. Good so far, but I'm holding off my final decision to the end. Then we have Victory on the Walls, A Story of Nehemiah. This comes from the Living History Library, which I had never heard of until we read Hittite Warrior as part of our history read alouds. And it's hard to find biblical historical fiction, so we're going to give that one a try. And the last one is just for fun. I think I saw this on Brave Writers' site before. It's Midsummer's Mayhem, and it has to do with cooking and food and tastes and how things go together, and there's a mystery involved. So I thought this would be just a fun way that after we have, you know, 2 kind of heavier historical fiction, just a fun way to finish off our school year. So those are all the books on my spring reading list. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you read any of these titles, or do any of them intrigue you? I'd love to know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to check out the description box below. There will be a couple links to, I'm going to put my winter reading list in there, and a couple of reviews, maybe a few other things that you might be interested in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.